presentation of TFNN. It is now time for Trade What You See with your host, Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, good morning, folks. Looking good, feeling good. Well, we've got 2 days away from the Federal Reserve announcement, which everybody is talking about across the tube. I think the most interesting thing from a technical perspective is how weak China continues to be. I mean, it just down 6% so far this week. That's usually not very good, but our market is still strong. And it looks like all systems are go for a rally. We need to get the S&P above the 1999 level to really confirm that it could be another leg in the bull market, but that's a little farther away than where we are right now. Last night, we made a slightly lower low in the S&P by about a point, and that was right at the 786, down around that 1935 level. And now we rallied, the 16 points, up into the range where we were yesterday. It's still, range bound more or less. The first chart that I posted in here to Tiger TV today is the breadth of the market. As you can see by looking at this, that the breadth of the market continues to deteriorate. It's been well over 8 weeks now where we've had a day where we had more new highs and new lows. So we're certainly in a downtrend of some stretch of the imagination. Looking at these charts, they look very, very bearish, but that doesn't mean that they're going to go down, because this has been the biggest bull market ever, and maybe there's another leg to it. I don't believe that there is, but the forces to be are telling us that there's a possibility of one. I personally think we're going to come down this week and then have a little bit of a bounce next week, but we'll have to, to see what happens. But it's basically range bound. We're seeing the same thing across Europe with the DAX and also the FTSE. Hang Seng was basically unchanged on the week, so there was not too much, at least for the first part of the week, was not too much going on. It was China, but remember, the Chinese stocks, only 50% of those stocks are trading. The other 50% are not trading. They're still shut down. So that's not a very liquid or active market, one that's manipulated that much by the Chinese banks. So I would be a little suspect when you looked at that from a technical basis. Now, today we're going to have Norm Winsky on at the half hour from Astro Trends. He's done a fabulous job for us here. He'll give us some good information on what he's looking at from his perspective, but he's been able to give us some pretty good ideas. If you remember back on May the 19th, Norman was on, and that's when we had the Mercury was retrograde and we had the new moon. Well, the new moon this week came in with the solar eclipse on the 14th, and the Mercury retrograde does not go until on Thursday, which happens to be the exact time that the Federal Reserve will make their announcement on what they will do. And I will be surprised if they do anything. I mean, they haven't done anything for 9 years. I don't know what would make them off center to think that they would do something now. It'll be interesting to see the reaction to the market when that happens. I mean, everybody is expecting it. I don't know one person on this planet that's not expecting them to raise them, sometime in the next few years. The $64 question is, are they going to do it this week? Are they going to do it in December? Or are they going to do it into 2016? They've been playing with the they've been playing with interest rates with this quantitative easing now for, I believe, 7 or 8 years. And I believe history will go down and say, wow, this was really not very smart, but, you did it anyway. So we'll have to let history decide if that's going to be the case. You just can't keep, adding money into something and hoping that things are going to change, because the overall, lifestyle and the standard of living of the normal person here in the United States has not improved that much. Only the people that are heavily involved in stocks and bonds were able to reap the benefit of what quantitative easing, actually did. Now, we have a a request to take a look at the most famous and widely talked about stock in the world, which is Apple Computer. And if you'll give me 1 second here, I will get her up and we'll see where we are with Apple, because Apple hit some really interesting spots here yesterday. If you'll notice, we went up to the exact 61% retracement of contract high at the 117 and change level. The number was 117.44 and or 117.50, and we hit 117.44 in Apple yesterday. This sold off a couple of dollars from there, but who knows? It could be up $10 on the opening. But there are two nice little patterns there verifying, that price level that we're looking at. You can see the butterfly pattern that's there, and then there's also a small 3-drive pattern in Apple. So there should be pretty strong resistance around this 117 level in Apple. I don't know where it's trading pre-market, but that's what it looks like when you watch this, from the cheap seats here in Tucson, Arizona, and we'll see what's going on here. One other question that someone had asked me by email last night to talk about on the show today was, I mentioned last week a study by Steve Moore from Moore Research, and he does some of the best back testing of studies, and basically he's saying that there's a possibility that we could be looking at a start of a big leg up in the stock market during that September-October period, because of the fact that we are following with a pretty high correlation, well over 80%. Actually, the correlation is 94% from where we were in 1996 to 1998, comparing it to where we are right now. You notice that correlation is about 94%. So that's saying that we should have some type of a bottom here in September or October, and then we'll see, if the market moves up. Now, there's some things statistically wrong, I believe, about these correlations that you run. First of all, they have to be hand fitted. And that is always a troublesome thing, but they do look correct sometimes. And if they start to work, you've got to follow it. And believe me, I'm all for anything that'll work, either for a short period of time or for a long period of time. That's the bottom line of what I'm looking at. So that's the main thing. That's what I'm saying here with Steve Moore. Steve is in contact with my good friend Jim Twentyman almost on a daily basis, because they do a lot of work on the seasonals in the market. And what we're looking at here on some of these things, like this chart here on the S&P, could come to fruition. You've got to look at both sides of this, because, I could be wrong. I mean, we haven't gone down since the 24th, when we had that big 1,100-point drop. We've been sideways, which, if you interpret it by cycles, is not very bullish. But if you're looking at it from the other side of the coin, it didn't go and make new lows again right away. So that could be a sign of some positive influence coming into the market. I think what we learned from this, from August 24th, is the fact that how inequitable these ETFs can be. Because they don't price them like we do when you're watching a regular future or the price of the stock itself. They're priced as a group, and these inefficiencies that we have in these ETFs, we haven't had that before. And these markets are extremely volatile, and I believe that we're going to continue this volatility. One of the things that we mentioned on the program on Monday was the fact that the increased volatility that we're seeing here in the stock market is really very, very small percentage of what were happening during 2008, 2009, and again in 2010. See, we're running at about only not even 5% of what the volatility was, back in 2009, when the VIX hit almost, I think it went above 100. So these are some of the things that you want to remind yourself that this volatility, I believe, is here to stay. They're just warning us that it's going to get, worse and worse. And like I've mentioned, the problem with the market is threefold. There's the debt problem that we have. The second problem, which is probably the more important and the hardest to quantify, and that is the derivatives market, because many of these things that they've made up they are just absolutely no way that they can follow them. They are not even restricted. They're authorized because people can do it, but there's no way to put restrictions on them. So that market is supposed to be somewhere, near $1 trillion, and that's a lot of capital to be tied up in something that doesn't have any, control over it. See, folks, in 1936, they had I believe it was 36, they brought out the Glass-Steagall Act that disallowed commercial banks to go into investment banking. Bill Clinton had that act repealed. Basically, I believe he had some buddies on Wall Street, Jamie Dimon and a few of the others, John Mack from Morgan Stanley, and what was the other guy's name from Shearson? I don't remember, from American Express. Anyway, I believe that that made them. Goldman Sachs was in that too, and that was when Hank Paulson was chairman of Goldman Sachs before he became Secretary of the Treasurer. But those were that made them enabled to do investment banking and commercial banking, and that's what led to the too big to fail program that we had in 2008. If you remember, during 2008, as the market was going down, I believe it was October of 2008, they passed this deal where there was going to be a way to bail the banks out, and the market had its biggest rally ever. It's never exceeded this, 777 points. But 2 days later, the Congress would not allow it, and the market went down for another 4.5 months. So the volatility that we're seeing here can be really, really extreme, and so you want to be able to watch it. One of the charts that I would like to talk about here is the banking index chart, because that's one of the ones that has been the leader of the pack on this whole move, to the upside here. And if you'll notice here that the banking index has barely been able to make a 382 retracement of the move that we had down on the 24th of August, and we did go into that gap. We did go in and fill that gap last Wednesday, and so the market is still, heading down in the banking index from my perspective. Now, let's just we're going to come up here with a break, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what do we do if we're wrong here, and you always have to look at the other side of that. But the main thing is we're going to take a little break here. We'll have Norm Winsky on at the break.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and Norman was kind enough to let me know that it was 1933 on the Glass-Steagall Act. It wasn't 1935 or 36. I knew it was in the 30s. I just couldn't remember exactly the time, but it was 1933, and that went up until whatever it was, when Clinton took it off, 91 or 92. I don't remember exactly, but whenever he was president. I don't even remember that either. Well, that's a bad sign. Anyway, that was a very, very important thing that happened at that point, because it allowed investment bankers to do, or commercial banks to do investment banking, and that made it even more speculative than we've had it. The problem with the markets, though, folks, with the debt that the Federal Reserve has put out with this quantitative easing is a massive thing, but I believe that the bigger problem is going to be the what these derivatives are. And just to give you an example of how big the derivative market is, and they say it's close to $1 trillion here, I'm going to post a picture of what $1 trillion, or what a trillion looks like, mathematical, comparing it to some of the big skyscrapers and stuff. Okay, we've got a caller in from Fort Worth, Texas. Roy, are you there?
Yeah, I am, Larry. How you doing today?
Very good. What can I do for you?
I'm looking at ACI, Arch Coal. It had a pretty good run-up, and now it's came back, and I was wondering if you think it's going to go back to test the highs.
Well, I don't know if it'll test the highs or not, but it's reached some type of a pretty good bottom in here, and if it sells off just a little bit more, you could probably start to take a look at it, because it's shown the fact that it's got some life for the first time in quite some time.
Right. Looks like it bottomed out a couple of days ago there at about 359 or so. And
Yes.
you don't think it's going to go much higher, though?
No, I don't think this is something that's going to be like Apple Computer or anything like that. It might get a little bit more to it, but I would try to look at something else that's looks a little easier to trade than that one.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in, Roy. I appreciate it. I love Fort Worth. That's one of my favorite cities.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, if you have any questions, it's 877-927-6648, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. We were talking about the IWM, the fact that it was the banking index. Give me 1 second. I'm a little off a second here. We'll put this up here. Get the IWM in here, so we'll take a look at it. You'll see the IWM, which is the small cap, is doing almost the exact same pattern that we have with the banking index. It just made the 382 retracement and hasn't been able to take that out yet. So that's another thing that we want to keep an eye on. Now, if you'll notice that this low that we made on August the 24th was an exact 786 of the October low of last year. That also happened in the NASDAQ. Both of those hit the same time. So that's a possibility that is a major bottom in here. I don't think it'll have anything to do with what the Federal Reserve does. It'll probably be something else, but that's what it looks like, from what we're watching right here anyway. So it does have still has an uptrend bias here with the IWM, but the fact that it's weakening now, not being able to get above the 382 over this past move, would probably be something else. Okay, we got a caller from the insurance capital of the world, Hartford, Connecticut. Bob, are you there?
Yes, I am. Larry, good morning.
Good morning to you, my friend. What can I do for you?
Well, I also wanted to add on to the second part of that Glass-Steagall Act with, Sandy Wild, who took over Travelers and actually made the insurance and the investment banking together. My wife was working there at the time, and it was a big memory for me.
I remember Sandy Wild. It was American Express. I remember that very, very vividly. I actually met him more than once, but pretty smart guy.
Yes. I just emailed you about 10 minutes ago a chart which overlays copper and the S&P 500. And you said that copper has a PhD in economics. The indicator hasn't worked for a long time, but I'm wondering if some new life come into the chart with the predictive quality of copper.
Well, I agree with that. I haven't had a chance to open the email yet because I've been on the show, but I will look at it later and I'll comment on it on the on tomorrow's show for sure. I will be able to do that, but I will do that for you. We're going to have Norm Winsky at the break, and maybe he'll give us some ideas of the copper scenario. Okay, Bob?
Very good.
Hey, thanks for calling in. It's always good to talk to you. May God bless.
That's good.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has just announced a brand new morning lineup that is geared specifically for traders in this volatile traders market. Every morning at 8 a.m., John Logan starts things off with his daily program, The Global Market Pulse. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento trades the market during the market open Monday through Friday on Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom O'Brien hosts the Money Masters for the hour, and Basil Chapman hosts his Tiger Technicians Hour at 11 a.m. From 8 a.m. till noon every market day, these traders are with you as they provide up-to-the-second market information so that you can make the most educated and profitable trades possible. The new TFNN morning lineup is happening right now. Tune in to see for yourself what kind of actionable trading discussion they have each morning, Monday through Friday, starting at 8 a.m., live only on Tiger TV at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have our friend Norm Winsky on the line from Astro Trends. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Good
listen,
morning.
I'm going to turn the gavel over to you. Thank you for reminding me about the Glass-Steagall 1933. I knew it was in the 30s. I just couldn't remember. You know, Norman, that's when my grandmother opened her restaurant. Was 1932. Louise's, you know, there on South 3rd Street in Terre Haute.
Famous.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure was. Yeah, it was in the family for 77 years. Go ahead, Norm. Take the gavel and tell us what you've got, folks.
Now,
this guy knows
can
what
you
he's
see
talking
my
about, so
screen,
pay
Larry?
attention. Pardon me?
I don't know. Can they see my screen? Can they see the notes?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. All right. We have my notes up here, and going to talk about what's coming up. We just had just a quick recap. Larry was talking about what happened in the past before with the May top and all that sort of thing, and I forecasted, as you know, Larry, big down for August, and then we had the Now Index, my sentiment indicator, set on the Friday the 21st. Monday the 24th would be
Norm.
it could be, what's that again?
Hold on, we're not getting the screens are not being posted. We'll have to try. They should be coming through on Skype, though, correct?
You're talking to me now?
Hold it. There we're going. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hold it. He's giving us a little. He's telling us how to do. Okay, they can see him through Tiger TV. We're okay. Fire away. Everything's good.
All right, so we're looking for the big down in late August, then we started going down, and then Friday the 21st on the close, one of your favorite things, my sentiment indicator called the Now Index, flashed a bicycle for the Monday the 24th, and we had the panic opening on the 24th, and that was been the low so far. Then we had a rally up. We came back down. I had a big planetary alignment with Saturn and Pluto for the night of Tuesday, the 25th. And that's when we came back down, made the retest of the lows, and then we kind of went up. And now since that time, we've been trading into a narrowing range pretty much. And now, as of last night, I sent out the alert to my subscribers. You're on that list, Larry. And showing that the S&P 500 is now trying to kind of trade it into a kind of wedge triangle type formation, narrowing range there. And we should be coming to some sort of apex here very quickly. So, and I had a short-term, a little moderate planetary event happening here overnight. And so, like you were saying earlier, Larry, if we hold here, we could be set for a rally into the 17th. That's what a main reason for me to be on here today is to talk about this huge window I have right around the 17th. And looking at the notes there on the screen, hopefully. We have, just for example, the first event we have is AC. I put AC for after the close. So we have 9:16 after the close. Geocentric, that's from the point of view of the Earth. Jupiter in Virgo is going to do 180 degrees opposition to Neptune and Pisces. Jupiter is the ruling planet for oats, Virgo the ruling planet for soybeans, and Neptune is the ruling planet for commodity index, oil, and inflation-related markets. And because Neptune is said to be in its own sign, that only happens for about a 14-year period every 160 plus years. That's like a double whammy. It's a double-powered event. And so this is going to be a huge, could be a huge window for, especially for the oil related markets.
Norm, I've got a question from one of our listeners about the fact that we have the Federal Reserve is going to be making their decision on interest rates on the 17th, and I believe you've told us that Mercury goes retrograde around that same time. Is that correct?
Yep, that's one of the things coming up here on my shopping list, on our list here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get me ahead of myself, but we did have a question from one of our listeners.
I'm going to address that. Hold on for 1 minute, and so we can go through this methodically and not jump around and get confused, right? So I will get to that in 1 minute, okay?
You got it.
All righty, moving ahead here, we have another huge event happening on the morning of the 17th. That was the last thing was kind of overnight between the 16th and the 17th. AC on my thing is after the close, and so then in the morning of the 17th, we have Saturn is going to be making an important angle to the U.S. natal chart. That's when the U.S. was founded in 1776, and this often indicates this particular point in the U.S. chart has been in the past associated with changes in the interest rate. So that's kind of interesting. And then right after that, in the afternoon, Mercury in the sign Libra will be turning retrograde. Retrograde and the opposite is direct. Has to do with the relative motion of the Earth, and the planets appear to stop and reverse the direction at these points, and Mercury will be doing that. I think one source of my one computer program had 203, another source had like 211. So if you average them out, we'll call it 205, 206. And right about that time, the Fed is scheduled to make their announcement at this time. And it's kind of interesting that they waited till Thursday. Usually they make their announcement on Wednesday. I think that might have something to do with Janet Yellen and her what was going on here earlier this week, but that's for another story. So anyway, Libra is the ruling sign for sugar, and then the big thing here is Mercury. By the way, the stock market is a big basket of everything. So if anything important is happening with the planets, that should affect the stock market. And more specifically, Mercury is aligned with associated with the greens. And so you want to be watching the corn, oats, and particularly soybeans, stock, sugar, and wheat. So I hope that hopefully that I addressed the caller's question there.
Yes, I think so. But we've known each other an awfully long time, and I'm not anywhere near where you are in astrology. That's the understatement of the year. But the thing that I do remember is that that Mercury is the planet of communication, and that from when Reagan was in the office, wasn't Gene Dixon his astrologer? Do you remember, Arch, who that was? Wasn't it Gene Dixon was Reagan and Nancy and Ronald Reagan's astrologer when he was in office?
I'm not. I think that was Linda. Wait. Was Joan Quigley.
Joan Quigley. That's who it was. Yes.
Right. The reason I can remember her name, in my first astrology book I ever bought was at the Crockett Bertano's down there at Honey Creek Square. They're south of just out of the south end of Terre Haute.
That's right near our farm. That was about 5 miles from our farm, or our little 3-acre farm.
Okay.
Hey, Arch, I was thinking of Arch Crawford for just a second. No relationship, folks. Norm, what are the odds are that the Mercury retrograde will cause them to make a bad decision? Because Reagan would not give a significant speech or sign anything when Mercury was in retrograde motion. I just wonder
one of the amusing stories about Reagan is when he was sworn in as governor of California, they had sort of like the public ceremony. But the actual official, when he took the oath of office, they did it at some odd hour, like after midnight, because that's when the astrologer told them to do that.
Wow, I'd heard that also, but I was fortunate enough to meet the Reagans a couple of times because one of my friends was a big money raiser for them, and this was back when he was, running for governor. And one night we were having dinner, the Drexel Group at Chasen's Restaurant in the Beverly Hills, where they had beef Wellington, and that was his favorite dinner. And he and Nancy were having dinner there that night, and there were no Secret Service or any bodyguards. He was just chatting with everybody in the restaurant. He was a real gentleman and extremely handsome fellow. And of course, she was a beautiful lady too. But he was a good guy. I enjoyed him very much.
Well, mommy.
Yeah.
Doing my bad Reagan impression, yeah. All right, so another big thing is happening after the close of the 17th. That's a huge window. Yeah, we have Saturn changing signs, and Saturn's a 29.5-year cycle, and so it stays in a sign about 2.5 years, and then we get a shift in the markets and the economy, and so there's going to be a shift from out of the sign Scorpio into Sagittarius. One of the principal commodities for Sag is oats. Saturn has to do with coffee also, and watch the stock market at that time. And so also probably the biggest thing we see on the news right now, since Sagittarius has to do with international affairs, foreign affairs, and international travel and things of that nature. I think this whole immigration crisis we're having with refugees and so forth, I think that might be, we're already seeing the influence of Saturn going into Sagittarius at this time with the crisis in Europe with people, migration problem, right, and refugees.
Well, how do you think that'll rectify itself? Do you have any idea?
No, I'm not that smart.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
It's interesting to correlate. Here's Saturn at 29.5-year cycle, and we're seeing some issues there. I think it might have some manifest itself over the next couple of years with the Trump is going around, sort of implying that he could start if he were to get into office, he might want to, with this Saturn restricts, and we get in the Sagittarius, his philosophy may cause a trade war or something, or trade restrictions,
Does Trump's chart have a chance for him to be elected, Norm?
I have not looked at his chart for a while. Actually, no, I couldn't say right now. I always wait till we get down to the last couple candidates, And then over the past 40 years, or since the early 70s, when I've been forecasting the presidential elections, I think I've hit about 8 out of 10. So, but I'll get down to 2. I'll take a look.
Remember any of your misses of the 8 out of 10?
Yep, I was missed on Obama, I think.
The whole world missed that one.
Yeah. All righty,
Okay.
moving ahead here, because I know we got limited time. We have Jupiter, and again, we have another manifestation of the cycle we had, I talked about earlier with Jupiter and Neptune, and it's going to manifest in another fashion here from another sort of dimension, and so it's got a doubling up on that again, so it's like double the double whammy on Jupiter and Neptune and oil, as in particular, and oats and oil. And so watch the big O's, the oats and the oil. I know nobody trades the oats, but it does tend to respond to the planets very well. And, and so here's, I thought I'd throw in a little bonus chart here. We have the Euro Bank popped up on my Astro radar for September. So we have here's how it's been working out so far. I published my letter back on the 30th of August. And I had the 31st as a key date, and I put the chart up on the screen here. Hopefully people can see that that was a nice little trading top there for the euro. And then we had the next date I had was the 3rd, and that was so far the low of the month. And then we had a date for the 8th, but that was a clunker. That missed. So far 2 out of 3. And then, whoa, look at that. The 17th pops up again. How did that happen? So that's kind of there's a theme through the letter here. 17th, my letter on several markets. So the 17th is a big deal. So that's coming up here in just a few days.
Yeah,
so
folks, I can attest these numbers because I'm in contact with Norm, and I watch these dates that come up, especially the key dates of the things that I'm looking at. And if you have an interest in cycles, you ought to really take a look what Astro Trends does. He's got a lot of experience. He knows what he's doing, and he's a relatively pretty nice devil-may-care type good guy. So give Norm a shot because he's really good at some of these dates that we're looking at. We're going to put your feet to the fire for on this one on the 17th to see what's going to happen. So we'll have you on maybe the following week if we can to recap where we are.
Okay, if the folks contact me, get the free letter. I also offer a free class that goes with that. It's one-on-one on Skype or on the phone. Get a customized, usually lasts about 3 hours for a free class with me. And I have an article in the letter there that shows you how astrologically, as you were talking about earlier, October the 11th, 2007, the high day of 2007, and May the 19th, 20th of 2015 are all astrologically and mathematically connected. And, oh, by the way, that's projecting now that the 27th of September it should be an important change in trend window, and it just so happens that is a huge, not just a regular lunar eclipse, but it's like a multiple factor lunar eclipse. And you have the full moon to having a lunar eclipse, then you have the lunar eclipse, then it's occurring at what's called perigee. That's the closest point of the moon as it goes around the Earth. That only that just the moon, the full moon, and the perigee only line up about every 14 months, and then to have that being also a lunar eclipse, I can't even tell you how many years that would be for that to align like that. So that's a very rare lineup, and it's also a harvest moon, and so you have it's the longest description of any moon I can remember in a long time. So that's a very rare event, and this pattern with the planets and the Fibonacci mathematics, and all connects, and Gann principles all project to now for the next big date for the 27th, and I also have an important date due on the 25th. So make sure you contact me. Here's my contact info. You can telephone me here in Florida at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. Or you can contact me on Skype at norm.winski. And do I hear the music in the background there?
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we still have Norm Winsky on the line from Astro Trends. Norm, are you still there?
Hold on 1 second. I got to make some adjustments. I didn't think I was coming back. Okay. Now I'm okay. Let me just get my notes back up. Okay, now I'm good.
I'd like for you to, in your own words, reiterate the importance that we have coming up to the end of the week here, the 17th and 18th, with the things that we're doing, and then also, if we have time, to do the same thing on the 27th of September. So why don't you go ahead?
Okay, I just scrolled back to my notes surrounding that, and so we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 huge events. Any one of these would be considerable by itself, and it would just have a big convergence. And I think it's, like you pointed out, I think it's unbelievable that the Fed announcement is almost exactly within probably a few minutes. Mercury turned retrograde on the 17th, so I don't, maybe if you want to take questions or anything from your listeners, I think that'd be fine, on these markets. But, I think any questions you might have, Larry?
We have one question. Do you have any statistics of whether the the Mercury retrograde during market hours will affect it exactly during market hours. Have you ever looked at that as far as intraday timing?
Can't say that it's going to work right to the minute. Maybe it's kind of a wider resolution than that. Maybe, if it worked, I think if it worked within 20, 30 minutes, that would be pretty amazing,
Oh, sure. Anything within an hour, I would think, given the fact these markets are as volatile as you can possibly visit. Now, on the 27th, we have these huge lunar eclipse along with this super full moon and all these other things. That's a much bigger event than the 17th, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say which is bigger. It's important because I did that whole, I call it the onion pattern there that I have in my letter, and showing that how that's all connected with, I forecast the high to the day in May, and that was all connected to this, as you mentioned, the Mercury turning retrograde at the new moon back in May, and that's also the exact same pattern we had on October the 11th. 2007. So that's a knock you off your chair kind of a thing, right? And it's all
sure.
There's also a Fibonacci pattern, mathematics underlying that, and that we went up to, I projected 2138 on the S&P, and we got overnight on the 19th, overnight to the 20th, at 3 a.m. on the 20th. We got on some overnight platforms. We made 2130, 710.
Okay, listen, we got to run. Thanks for having you on today. We'll have you on next week.
All right. Does everybody know how to get a hold of me, Larry?
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.